This is the Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.
Welcome back to the latest episode of the Future of Automotive on CBT News, where we put recent automotive and mobility news into the context of the broader themes that are impacting the industry. My name's Steve Greenfield, I'm from Automotive Ventures, and I'm really glad that you could join us. This week, a look at a quiet but profound shift happening in our driveways and in our garages. There was a time not that long ago when cars were, at their core, mechanical machines. If you had the patience, the elbow grease, and the right tools, you could bring just about any old vehicle back to life. And once you did, that car could be maintained indefinitely. But in terms of upgrades, you were stuck. Whatever features the next model year introduced, well, you simply didn't get to inherit them. But that world is changing very quickly. Take a Tesla, for example. There are almost no buttons, no dials, just a giant touchscreen running nearly everything. And Tesla isn't alone. Increasingly modern cars, especially electric ones, are less like machines and more like software platforms, constantly updating themselves over the air to fix bugs, tweak performance, and even add the occasional Easter egg inside the cabin. In other words, your car is starting to behave a lot more like your phone. And that comparison, what people call a smartphone on wheels, has already become a cliche inside and across the auto industry. There are real perks to this: continuous improvement, better navigation, the introduction of new convenience features that didn't exist before. But there's also a catch. Software ages, hardware gets left behind, and a car, something we expect to last a decade or more, can suddenly feel outdated because as an app crashes, not because a gasket fails. How well these software-dependent cars will age was still an open question. Automakers now promise vehicles that evolve, that get better over time. But technology doesn't work on the same timeline as automobiles. Americans replace their phones every couple of years. The average car on the road today is nearly 13 years old. And automakers are legally required to support safety recalls for 15 years, long after your smartphone would have been tossed in a drawer. Future updates may simply be too demanding for older in-car computers. As companies race to roll out AI-driven features and more sophisticated autonomy, some models may fall behind, slowed by outdated chips or incompatible systems. Imagine, for example, trying to run the latest Microsoft Windows suite on a 2010 vintage laptop. It just wouldn't be pretty. And we've seen what this obsolescence looks like already. Back in the 2010s, many cars relied on 3G networks to power remote locking, emergency assistance, and crash detection. When 3G was shut down in 2022, millions of still drivable cars suddenly lost these features. A few manufacturers offered upgrades, others simply shrugged and said, connectivity's gone, and that was that. Some automakers are trying to get ahead of the problem. Rivian, for example, says it's building extra computing headroom into its vehicles, enough it hopes to help them update for 7 to 10 years into the future. But the question is, what happens after that? In the collector car world, many Ferrari enthusiasts already view electric vehicles with suspicion. Not just because EVs lack the roar and rumble of a combustion engine, but because long-term value depends on longevity. A rare Ferrari V12 can still turn heads and command seven figures half a century after it was built. But if an electric Ferrari stops receiving software support after 10 years, what happens to its collectability and its value? There's also the cautionary tale of Fisker, which went bankrupt in 2024. With the company gone, so were the software patches. Some of its 11,000 SUVs risked becoming expensive paperweights without fixes for critical glitches. Larger established companies are far more stable, but even they're not immune to financial pressure. Keep in mind that Rivian lost about $100,000 per vehicle sold last quarter. Lucid wasn't far behind that. Will these automakers even be around in 10 or 20 years to continue to provide software updates to their legacy vehicles? Longevity in the software era can no longer be taken for granted. And here's the irony about all this. Electric cars, mechanically speaking, are really built to last. Fewer moving parts, less wear and tear, replace a battery or a motor, and an EV could, in theory, outlive many gas-powered cars. But if the software supporting it stops evolving or stops working, your car may become nothing more than an oversized paperweight. So, with that, let's transition to our companies to watch. Every week, we highlight an interesting company in the automotive technology space to keep an eye on. If you read my weekly Intel report, we showcase a company to watch, and then we take the opportunity here on this segment each week to share that company with you. Today, our new company to watch is called WarCloud. WarCloud is a technology and service solution that transforms an automotive dealership's warranty processing to enhance the primary driver of a dealership's gross profit, which is their service department. Warranty processing is an increasingly important part of a dealership's revenue. Lower your costs associated with it by taking advantage of WarCloud's automated warranty processing technology. From fully automated recalls to manual claims, WarCloud can process claims up to 5 times faster and reduce your warranty processing costs. Automatic end-to-end warranty claims management means you're getting productive time back in your workday. Spend it focusing on the customer experience, which drives higher customer satisfaction and improved retention. If you'd like to learn more about WarCloud, you can check them out at www.warcloud.com. So that's it for this week's Future of Automotive segment. If you're an entrepreneur working to solve a big problem anywhere across the mobility spectrum, we want to hear from you. We are actively investing out of our new mobility fund. Don't forget to check out my first book, The Future of Automotive Retail, and my newest book, The Future of Mobility, both of which are available on Amazon. Thanks as always for your ongoing support and for tuning in to CBT News for this week's Future of Automotive segment, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for watching The Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.